Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, JT here, welcome to another episode. Before we get into the topic that you already read, you're probably already wondering, dude, where are you going with this, okay? Trust me, I have a point to make. I saw online a few weeks ago a very cool bridge. It's called the Gdańsk Bridge. Supposedly the photos look great there. I'm gonna assume that the video is gonna look as cool. Let's go see the Most Gdański. This over here is the Vistula River, Wisła. The name of the street is actually Romualda Traugutza. So, what inspired me to make this video? Recently we went on our Majówka holidays. For all of you that don't know, don't live in Poland, Majówka is kind of like a series of holidays that meet in May, where you have Labor Day and then you have Polish Constitution Day. And in our case we went to Janów Lubelski, kind of like an hour's drive from Lublin. And when we were there, something really caught my attention, caught me by surprise to be honest, and that was the physical shape of a lot of the people. I've always had this idea that Polish people were fairly in good shape. Now granted, half of the year in this country you are covered with sweaters and jackets and all that stuff, but it's pretty obvious walking on the streets that people are not overweight, right? So when we went on these holidays, I was like, oh, that is interesting. And it's not like people were, I don't want to use the word, but they were for sure out of shape. And it surprised me because this is a topic that is close to my heart. I have struggled with weight issues all my life, you know? I'm a big bone dude. You see, I don't have skinny arms or anything like that. And yeah, for the longest time I also had weight issues. I come from a Latino country, Latino culture, where, to be honest with you, we don't have necessarily the best practices when it comes to our diet and the food that we choose, even though we have very healthy food. Rice, beans, plantains, all those are amazing whole foods, but we're also inundated with simple sugars, and especially compared to Poland, where we have twice the amount of diabetic cases than Poland has. Which is why, combined to my observations, it really surprised me. We have to talk about this from several different angles, okay? First, let's talk about the Polish diet. The traditional Polish diet. If you've been to Poland, if you live here, you know that this is a diet that is heavily based on dairy, heavily based on meat and starches, right? The issue, I think, is that although delicious, Poland is not living in Poland 500 years ago, where people were a lot more active, people were doing a lot more things, people were walking all the time. Now everybody is just using cars. I don't think we have reduced the amount of food that we are consuming, right? I think, if anything, all the contrary, we are eating more. Poland is a richer country these days, which I'll get to. That's another of the topics I'm going to talk about. Economy. People are not eating less. There's a lot more diversity in the type of pierogi, in the type of basically sweet desserts. So there's no shortage of goods. You can find that amazing dessert that you love, the pączki, whenever you want, right? You don't have to wait for Tłusty Czwartek to eat 3, 4, 5 donuts. You can go to any store, any cukiernia, and just buy it and eat it and stuff your face with it. It's delicious, trust me. But at the same time, it is causing problems on the life and health of the citizens of Poland. Why is there smoke coming from this thing? What type of chimney is that? If anyone knows what that is, please illuminate me. That is one cool, interesting looking building. I found a very interesting study online titled "The Current Nutritional Status of the Polish Population." It was done by two ladies, Danuta Gajewska and Anna Harton. And in the conclusions of this study, it's a long study, but the conclusions were worrying, to say the least. They stated that the prevalence of overweight and obesity among children and adolescents in Poland is a growing public health problem. And of course, COVID-19 for sure worsened the situation by everyone being at home all the time, very sedentary, just overconsumption of food. But they really make a point that there should be better prevention and better programs, specifically to target the young generation, because the association of weight gain and health deterioration is undeniable. The second thing that we have to talk about, because it has a direct impact on the health of the citizens and the mindset of the citizens when it comes to things like food, is history. Particularly the last 100 years. And if we want to go even more specific, communism. Now, let me tell you something. I've made episodes in the past talking about communism in Poland. I know that the situation in Poland was not that of starvation, but in the mindset of the people, in the mind of a human being, similar things happen. If you deprive a person from things that they've been used to, then all of a sudden there's going to be a psychological impact. We always make fun of the babcias in Poland and how they love to feed people all the time. They want to give us food, give us a lot of food. They are happy, that's how they show love. But the reason for that is because they lived through communism. They know what it feels to not have enough. Mentality, mindset, psychological predisposition gets passed down through generations. We are the way we are because of a combination of nature versus nurture. Your grandparents taught your parents, and then your parents taught you. And it becomes an almost automatic way of seeing life, of dealing with everything that you have in your surrounding, including your own diet, your own health. Now, when I was talking about the Polish diet, I should make a distinction, because I should be fair. Poland is not only part of the European Union, with a lot of regulations and controls on the quality of the food and the ingredients, but Poland itself is a country where the members of the society really value food that is made with good ingredients, not loaded with chemicals, not loaded with things that have numbers and letters and that you cannot find out in nature. The problem is that also eating half a kilogram of butter on your toast every morning, it's not conducive to good health. People go like, it's okay, it's butter, it's fine, butter is natural. And it's not always the case. So it's very important to make that distinction. So we talked about the Polish diet, we talked about history. We have to talk about, pardon the train, we have to talk about economy. Why, for example, the big countries like the United States, England, why do they face such a problem with obesity? Big part of it is because they are rich countries. They have more money, they can buy whatever they want, whenever they want. I don't want to say that Poland has very high salaries, because we know that that's not the case compared to America, compared to England. But Poland has significantly improved its economic status and the status of the people that live in this country. Some people are gonna say that this is the Westernification of Poland, and there is something to that. Is that happening in Poland? I think it's happening in Poland to a very high degree. Poland 20, 30 years ago was a very different place than it is today. Polish society, Polish members of society have more means to purchase things that they need, things that they crave, even if they are not healthy for them. In the comments, please tell me, you have lived it, you have seen this, you were part of either communistic Poland, or you are literally the next generation that came after, when the markets opened, when Poland joined the European Union. The way that Poland has modernized itself, it has led to many, many important things. The articles are out there on the internet, writing how Poland will become the next superpower in Europe. But with that amount of responsibility, also there are other things that come. Is the obesity problem in Poland increasing because Poland is Westernifying itself too much, too fast, too soon? What is your take on this? The final thing that we have to talk about, I would say, is as important as the diet, is physical activity and the culture of exercise in Poland. I found a study by a gentleman named Adam Metelski, and in this study he was talking about the physical activity in Poland and in the European Union. And basically, Poland is not a very active country when it comes to sports. It should be said that the study also shows that when compared to its neighboring countries, Poland does exercise a fair amount. But in general, compared to the rest of the European Union countries, around 56% of Polish population does not practice any sport. So, I don't know, maybe the Slavs don't like to do any sports, they don't like to go to the gym. There's something to it for sure, but that is having a direct impact on the health of its citizens. I go to the gym and I've noticed that I almost never see anyone over 60, 65 at the gym. It's quite an interesting observation, because that means that generationally speaking, Poland has different behaviors when it comes to physical education, when it comes to physical activity. Like I said already, times have changed. It's a different world out there. The food, as much as Polish people want to keep the food the healthiest, with the healthiest of ingredients, globalization is taking over. And sadly, we have never had more and easier access to a Snickers bar loaded with a bunch of chemicals and a bunch of sugar. We're eating many other types of food that sadly are having a very deep impact. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. I really, truly hope that you guys don't misinterpret this video. I really wish that you guys understand where I'm coming from. That I am just trying to put a magnifying glass on something that I've been observing in Poland. And as a person that has also struggled with weight issues, with eating issues, having to always actively be thinking that I need to work out, I need to exercise, I cannot eat that second piece of sernik that I really want to eat. The comment section is open for us to talk about things, to discuss. Tell me what you think. See you on another episode. Look at this beautiful view that I'm going to leave you with.